Okay, thank you for reminding me. So I'll take it again. Said we have the agile methodology, we have the waterfall methodology, we have the lean methodology and the Kanban methodology and the spiral methodology. But for the sake of the recap, I'll dwell on the first two, which is agile methodology and waterfall methodology. And like I said earlier, the lean, the Kanban, the spiral falls under either agile or waterfall. That is the reason why I'm going to dwell on just the two. And I was trying to explain, I said I will liken it onto our system of education. So agile methodology is more like the system of education after secondary school. It's actually it's open to your decisions, for your decisions to make. You could go to a university to get a degree. You could go to a college of education to get an NCE. You could go to a polytechnic and get a diploma. You could also just go and learn a trade. And the system does not make it compulsory for you to have to pick, to have to do all those things. You pick by choice. So basically, agile methodology is more like that because it gives room for continuous iteration and learning. Then the waterfall methodology is a straightforward. Sorry, apologies for the break. I have to. A call is disturbing me, so I have to just pause. Then the waterfall methodology, like I said, is likened onto the earlier stage of education, which is the preschool, the nursery, the pre-primary, and then the primary and the secondary education. And you agree with me that in this stage of education, you cannot move from one class to the other without going through the previous class. You have to attend the previous class and then write the exams and then graduate to the next class. And so it is, you can't jump from preschool to primary school. No, you have to go through the process. And that is how waterfall is. It's sequential. You have to finish one process before you, one step, sorry, stage before you get to the next stage. But in agile methodology, you leave it, it's left to your own discretion. You pick the most important stages and then you move on. I hope that makes it clear for those who didn't attend yesterday. If you have any question about this, you can just quickly ask and then we'll move on to today's class. Okay, everybody is quiet, so I guess we don't have, it's clear enough. Then we went further to product architecture, and this refers to this high level structure and design of a product. And then we went further to explain what is reasons why we need the architectural structure in product management. And we said we need it for scalability, for maintainability, extensibility, and modularity. So we also dwelt on product components and the various stakeholders, which we have the engineering, the designing as the technical stakeholders. Then we have the marketing team, the sales team, and the customers as the non-technical stakeholders, which brings us to our topic for today, which is the release cadences. Product release cadences refers to the frequency and timing of product release. It is important to establish a balance between releasing new features and maintaining stability. The release cadences varies based on the product, industry, and customer needs. factors to consider when defining release cadences includes the following. Okay. So basically, when we talk of the release cadences, we're referring to those stages you take, those stages you follow before you release a product. And then in those stages, we have the development cycle, we have the customer feedback, and then we have the market trends, and we have the business objectives. I'll take them one after the other. We'll start from the development cycle. So the development cycle determines the length, complexity of development, sprint or iteration. So this is a process where the product itself is being developed. In the development cycle, you have the ideation. That is the process of developing the idea. Like the product owner coming to tell you, okay, I want to dive into the tech industry, probably education technology. How do we go about it? So that is the ideation stage. So you as a product manager take your time to make a research of what it is to venture into education technology. You'd check the necessary tools you'll need and whatever is needed to develop that particular product. And then from ideation, you develop it into the stages, the production stage. From the production stage, then you take it into the market, which brings us to the customer feedback. But then in the development stage, you have still to collaborate with the designers who actually interpret, who are the first people that interpret your PRD, the product designers, the UI UX designers. They interpret it into a design and then push it onto the front end engineer and then to the back end engineer to develop the product. And then from there, it is being launched. And once it's launched or pre-launch, you do a pre-launch or you launch directly. And then after the launching, you get customers' feedback. And customer feedbacks incorporate customers' feedback and feature request into the release plan. By the time you release an MVP or you do a pre-launch, it is an attempt to get customers' feedback, what they feel about the product and what they feel should be added, what they feel is missing, what they enjoyed about the product. So they help in determining your strengths and your weaknesses. So they make it easier for you to do a SWOT analysis of your product. And when you get the feedback, you still come back to the engineering team and then you rebuild again. And that is why development cycle of a software product is never comes to an end. It is a continuous process. And then the third one is the market trends. Market trends stay abreast of market dynamics and release updates that align with market demands. So basically in the market trends is you collaborating with your sales team and then with your marketing team in order to know, okay, what is happening. They help you do the research and get feedback from customers too. I'll tell you, okay, there's this thing we want you to incorporate into your product. This is what we want. And then you also make research on the industry to know, okay, from your competitors, what are your competitors doing that is different from what you're doing? What makes you different from your competitors? Okay, those that are ahead of you, that are selling more than you do, that the customers are talking about, what is it that makes their products different from your own? And then you learn to adopt that and inculcate it into your own product. Then we also have the business objectives, aligning the release cadences with business goals and revenue targets. Okay, in this stage, you have to measure your profits, that's your revenue targets, with the product you're releasing. Your business goals, okay, what are the goals, what are the objectives of this product? and which brings you back to your documentation. Like we said yesterday, that documentation is very, very important. So for you to align those business objectives with your revenue, like, okay, I'll make an example of, okay, the ed tech now. Okay, I want to start up an educational technology. I want to venture into ed tech. Okay, in ed tech, there are also various aspects of it. Am I going to venture into like skills development, leadership training, or just inculcate, like educate children, teach maths or something, or a subject? Then basically, okay, what is the essence of teaching that particular aspect that I picked? Let's say the skills training. So I'm going into education and it is a skills training. So what's the essence of going into it? Okay, how do I generate revenue from it? So you have to strike a balance between the two, and that is the business objective. And I hope we're making sense. Are we following? Hello, are we following?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we
Okay,
are.
any questions
Yes.
so far? Any question, or we could move ahead? Okay. I guess there are no questions yet, so let's go ahead. Then we're going into the product development tools for a product manager. Product managers actually rely on various tools to streamline and enhance the product development process. Some common tools include, we have collaboration tools. Okay, some common tools used by product manager is this. We have the Jira, we have the ClickUp, we have Asana, we have Trello. Those mentioned products actually help us to collaborate with other development team. Okay, sorry. The initial tools I mentioned, which is the Jira, the ClickUp, Asana, and Trello, actually helps you with documentation first as a product manager. Every they all have their differences, what makes them unique. But basically, they are the tools that enhances your performance as a product manager. They help you document. They have a template for every document you need, which you could use to make your work easier. They also help you collaborate with other team members, because they give room for you to add team members to it, and they're able to view it and know what you're working on. Then we have the collaboration tools. Platforms like Discord, Slack, Microsoft Team enables seamless communication and knowledge sharing amongst team members. These are, you could just jump, more like a call, just like we're collaborating in this class. I'm able to speak, you're able to respond, you're also able to speak. So those tools, Discord, Slack, Microsoft Teams, and lots more enable us to have that collaboration irrespective of our locations. So we could use those tools to work remotely. Then we have the visual control system. And under that, we have the visual control systems. We have the JIT, we have the Bitbucket that enables teams to manage code changes, collaborate on development, and ensure vision control. Okay, this actually, it's a platform where the development team are able to visualize the product, and they're also able to test the products to see if it is user friendly before releasing it to the general public. And a simpler one that I could mention is what's this platform that designers use is the Figma file. Basically, the designers are able to use it. Then from there, they interpret it. The most popular one is actually Figma. Then the designers are able to design there, the interface there. Then from there, they add up the front end and the back end to check. And then you as a product manager is also added to make corrections and iterate. Then we have the wireframing prototype tool software as Sketches. We have Sketches, we have Figma, we have Adobe, and others. Product managers to create it helps product managers to create visual representation and interactive prototype for the product user. So basically, the wireframing and prototyping tools help you to translate, to visualize the product you want, to make the work of the designer easier and faster. By the time you prototype, it's more like a step-by-step visual aspect you give to the product designer. And a typical example is, it's more like an organizational structure. You know, the way it has been, you just draw it, making samples of, like in boxes or arrows, the directional flow of the software product you want to be designed. We also spoke about the communication tools earlier. We also spoke about collaboration tools, sorry, but then this is more of a communication tool for customers' feedback. Well, the first one is for communication within the team. Those ones are used to get feedback from users. And we have platforms like User Voice, Communicate, Intercom. In fact, your WhatsApp, the easiest one we all are used to is your WhatsApp. You could use your WhatsApp to get feedbacks by creating a group, your status, ask questions, and so on. Then we have technical research tools. Technical research tools, examples of technical research tools are the Postman, Swagger. Those are actually tools for the engineers, but it is important for you to also familiarize yourself with those tools as much as you can to ease your work, so that it doesn't look as if you don't understand what the engineers are doing. Then we also have the product data research. This helps you to make research. This helps you to make research and then apologies, I had to attend to something. Sorry about that. So we move to things the PM should learn. But so far, any question about the tools you need to use as a product manager? Are we following? Or do I need to go back to it again?
Yeah, I have a question. It doesn't relate to the tools.
Okay, feel free to ask.
Okay. So like if you are defining what a product is, does it have to have like a proprietary technology? So do I have to have an app? Do I have to own my own website for me to call it a product? Or maybe something is launched on WhatsApp, for example. So there's this platform, is an insurance platform that allows people to subscribe to insurance products on WhatsApp. So you can just chat with someone and then they can solve your need basically. So would that be a product, or does it have to be an app, a website for it to qualify as a product?
Well, it doesn't have to be an app or a website for it to qualify as a product. Whatever idea that has to be built by software engineers is referred to as a product generally. But the most popular ones that people regard as products are websites and apps that we could download. Those are the ones, the most popular ones, and those are actually the bigger ones. But then every feature is also a product. Every feature you're adding is a product. Okay, like big companies actually have PMs for every product. You might have a PM for just WhatsApp status. You have a PM for, let's say, profiling. So basically, every feature you're adding to a product is a product. Every feature is a product. It doesn't have to be a website or an app. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so you can say a product is something that satisfies, a specific need of a customer. It doesn't have to be in an app form website.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, for what are the tools that one can use for users' personnel, the template aside Canva? Sometimes you have to subscribe to the pro version of some of those ones. Is there anyone that offer like probably free for PM that have not really started work and you don't see reason why you should subscribe to the yearly or monthly package and you want to design a user persona?
Okay. Personally, when I started with Google Docs.
Google Docs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I just checked online and I got the template I wanted the information I needed. Then I went to Google Docs and then designed it. You can add tables and other add-ons on Google Docs, right? Yeah, so basically I just designed my own templates based on the needs of the product I'm working
Okay,
on at the
Google
moment.
Docs. Google Docs, right?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. Then this brings us to the things a PM should learn. When I say PM, I refer to a product manager. So a product manager must learn growth, analytics, strategy, execution, domain expertise, and shipping. These are the more like the must-haves for a product manager. So I guess I'll stop sharing my slides and then we'll explain one after the other. So basically we're looking at growth. As a product manager, you need to learn how to grow your product. And basically it's more of marketing. Or we talk of product growth is more of marketing. You have engagement growth, we have the user growth, we have analytics. Sorry, when we talk of growth, we're talking of more of marketing your product, which starts from the process of developing the product and then making sure the product gain market fits. Analytics, you need to research a lot of research as a product manager. You need to research the market trends. You need to research the market, your target market. You need to research your users. You need to also research on the business, your business growth. Then we have the strategy. You need to learn your go-to-market strategy. Okay, how do we release this? Do we do a pre-launch? Do we do a pre-testing? Do we do a pre-launch? Or do we just launch it at once? Do we have to put everything, inculcate everything before we launch? Which is you following the waterfall methodology, or you want to adopt the agile methodology, which enables you to launch a product and then keep adding features to it as time grows. You also need to learn execution. Execution means you have to learn to collaborate with others, with your designers, with your technical team and the non-technical team to get what you want done. You also need to learn your domain expertise and shipping. Your domain expertise refers to your product itself. You need to learn about the product itself, how it functions, how you interact with the product will actually affect the feedback of your first launch. So this brings us to the end of module 3. And I'll give room for questions from here. Any question?
Yeah, so concerning domain expertise, right, which would you advise? Would you advise the PM to be more niche on the product, or should they kind of have an understanding of different, business models?
Well, as a PM, it is advisable for you to have a general knowledge. You don't have to go in depth into it, but you have a general knowledge of what it is. And then gradually, as you grow in the industry, you learn on the job. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? Can you see I'm doing something? Any other question, please?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Yes,
I want to ask concerning shipping.
Okay.
Can you expatiate on the shipping? I want to understand, is it just the physical shipping of goods, or I don't understand the shipping you're talking about?
Well, the shipping is more of a technical term. It refers to how your product is being pushed into the market.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, it aligns with your go-to-market strategy. It also aligns with how your codes are being translated into the product.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. If you check the chat, I just dropped your exercise for the week. I guess we all have access to, we all know our capstone project now, right? Do we have an idea of what we're working on as a project?
I don't. So we've just done some assignments so far, but I don't think anybody has discussed capstone yet.
Okay, what are the assignments that you've worked on?
So the first one was a product plan where we had to talk about like a brief introduction to what our product would look like. And then
Okay.
we did a PRD. So that's the second one, like developing a PRD for the products that we spoke about in the plan.
Okay.
So far, those are the two things we worked on.
Okay, so basically we'll still work on that same product that you've planned and the PRD you've created. So using that same product that you have in mind, analyze the stakeholders involved, define key requirements. We spoke about stakeholders in our last class. So you analyze the stakeholders that will be involved in developing your product. That's a product you already have in mind and the key requirements. Then also develop a mock-up for the user interface. And I don't expect you to go into design. What I expect is a wireframe. Then also identify relevant metrics to track and select appropriate engineering methodologies and tools for the project. I hope we got that. Any question concerning our assignment? Okay, I should go over the assignment again. Okay. Using your already idealized product, analyze the stakeholders involved and define their key requirements. Second, develop mockup for user interface, more like a wireframe for user interface. Then identify relevant metrics to track and select appropriate engineering methodologies and tools for the project. Okay, you don't have to use Figma. Okay, go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, for the before the relevant metrics. Okay. Develop mockup for the user's interface. That's like wireframe. Are we designing or we are just going to draft
You're not
the
designing, you're crafting.
Okay. Then for
You
the
don't have
relevant
Sorry, let me answer this question before you ask your next question. You don't have to use like Figma for it. You could use your paper and biro and then snap it. A sketch.
Okay.
Yes. So go ahead with your question, please.
Okay. Identify relevant metrics. That's to track growth, Abby.
Yes.
Okay. Then select appropriate engineering methodologies and tools for the project. The one that you feel will suit the idea, the product idealized already.
Yes, and the one that you feel is more relevant to will be easier for your team to collaborate. And
So
funny
just
enough, as a product manager, you have to liaise with your team and know which of the tools they are more convenient working with. Like last 2 months, I was talking to someone, a product manager in a well-known bank. And I was asking, okay, what are the tools he uses to collaborate with? And to my greatest surprise, he's a top product manager in a bank, a well-known bank here in Nigeria. And he said he has never used like Jira. And then when you go to interviews, some companies are like bent on, okay, that's the industry standard. You have to know how to use Confluence. You have to know how to use Jira. But in the real life, this is someone who is a top ranking officer, a top ranking product manager in a bank, and who has never used Jira. So as a product manager, it is now left for you to decide, okay, what are the tools that will make work easier for me to collaborate with the team. I hope that answers our question. Do you have more questions?
yes, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Any other question, please? Okay, any other question from yesterday's class to today's class? Those of us that were not in class yesterday, did we follow, or do we need to go back to explain
Actually, I
some?
would actually like you to explain PRD more, because I was anticipating to participate in the class, but unfortunately I missed the class. So because is PRD similar to product brief? And is it similar? Can we replace PRD with market assessments? Who are the people that need actually understand that PRD are for the development teams, for them to understand how to go about, and probably the other stakeholders, the investors and the likes. What about the market assessment? Is it needed for the stakeholders, or is it just for the investors or the product manager?
Market assessment is needed for the product manager, the investors, and the product owners. Because as a product owner, I would like to know if what I'm venturing into will actually make profits or not. As an investor, I also want to know the same. And as a product manager, you need it because if the product fails, you fail. If the product succeeds, you succeed as a product manager. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that's the part of the question. So I was asking if product brief is the same with PRD, and what are the content that ought to be in a product brief, and what differentiates it from a product and PRD?
A product brief is more like an overview of the product. Then a PRD is a detailed document of the product brief, which contains both technical and non-technical aspects of the product you have in mind. So for the product brief, any person could pick it and understand what is written because there are no technicalities in them. But for a PRD, it includes the product overview, the goals and objectives of the product. It also includes the features you want to be inculcated into the product. It includes the technical team of the product and an explanation of who handles what. It also includes like the future you're looking into the product. What are the aspects, what are all those features you feel you will add in the nearest future? Does that make it clear for you?
So can we say that for product brief now, we have the product overview, we have the key features, we have the target audience, we have the product vision, and conclusion. Do we need to include risk assessment and pricing and monetization?
Yes.
For the product brief?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other question, please? Any other question? Okay, in the absence of any other question, we'll take the next 2 minutes to answer my own question. What stood out for you today in class? I'll take 2 or 3. Kindly unmute and tell us what stood out for you today in class.
Actually, what stood out for me, I've always been thinking that, although it's probably an oversight, I've always been thinking that the stakeholders are the investors, the product manager, and the product owners. I've never even thought that. I used to think that the product designer, the development and software engineer, marketing teams are part of the development teams, that they are not stakeholders. I don't know that that's the terminology that we are meant to use. So it stood out for me that I now understand that they are technical stakeholders and non-technical stakeholders.
Okay, thank you very much for that, for spotting that out. So any other person wants to tell us what stood out for him or her? Feel free to unmute, please.
Yeah, so for me, it's the fact that products don't have to be apps or websites for you to call them a product. So it could be a feature, it could be on a WhatsApp platform, whichever way, so long as it's solving a particular need of a customer, then it's classified as a product.
Okay, thank you very much for that response. Then the last person, what stood out for you? Kindly unmute and let us know, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, nobody wants to speak.
I wanted to ask, when are we getting the the slide for this class?
Okay, I think it's already available with the product hub. They'll make it available for each and every one of you to access. Okay, in the absence
Okay,
of
and
any,
is there provision for another class for the class that was not aired or no? How was that? 2 days
Okay.
ago, I guess.
Yeah, for this week, actually, well, we have covered everything that needs to be covered for this week. That was why I made sure the slides were as simple as they could for easier comprehension, because I know we missed the class.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for participating in today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to fill your attendance, please. So do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.